What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
What up? What up? It's Charles, Chuck.
What's up, everyone? You got Matt or Haz. What's up? I should say it the other way around. Haz or Matt. That makes more sense. The other thing I was gonna say, thinking about Gavinor, it was nice. Like when you were playing and like winning sets and stuff. Like so many people in chat would just write Gavinor. Like it was really nice to see. Like it's it really has taken off as a meme. What's up, everyone?
Not making that my tag.
No, your versions, dude. You're upgrading. You're moving on. What was I gonna say? What's up, everyone? We got. Actually, both of you guys were at Ludwig's thing. I was watching at the comfort from the comfort of my own house. But I think to close out the year, we obviously had the Scuffed World Tour, which was awesome. You know, to watch at home. It was kind of nice. Like you didn't have to. I mean, talk about going from. You know, some days when you watch a tournament, it's like you got to watch like early round pools or like mid-level doubles, and it's like, all right, this all sucks. This was like, nope, never mind. We're getting thrown right into it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the environment was very unique, and we want to hear from you guys too. What was your favorite set of the tournament? Make sure to leave a comment down below and let us know what your favorite set was. My personal favorite set, it had to be Light vs Tweek, and I'm very. I was very unlucky in terms of I mean it's cool to always just see top level Sephiroth, especially in a matchup that hard, and it was just a really fun set to watch. I know regardless of the characters, Light vs Tweek is always a fun one for me to watch. I just really like watching both of those players, and both of them go off against each other. It's really fun to watch, and even on top of that, just the I mean where it happened in bracket as well, and I mean obviously the main thing was just the Sephiroth. And how did you feel about the matchup, Tweek? I know you think Fox wins this matchup, right? But I also know that you think Diddy beats Fox. So I guess what was the ideology going into this specific set?
You said I think Diddy beats Fox?
Oh. Gonna say, hold up
Fox
a second.
Fox
Diddy doesn't beat anyone according to this guy. What the heck?
Yeah, I got it.
Except for Ken. He beats Ken. Diddy beats Ken.
I got it swapped around. Yeah, Gavin thinks that Fox beats every character in the game.
Everyone knows that Fox beats Sephiroth and that Fox beats Diddy. I've never
those
heard
are actually
I've never heard it the other way around. Literally.
Yes.
Starting it right now. Get on board.
Has opinions.
Well, my first matchup of the day was Maister. I warmed up a little bit with Light before the set because I got there a few minutes before, and my Diddy wasn't playing that well. And then my set with Maister started, and I was actually playing really well, pretty good in the first game versus Maister. And he made a pretty big comeback to win the first game. And then the second game, he won pretty solidly. And I felt pretty screwed. I went Sephiroth and just played my heart out with Sephiroth. I feel like the extra practice I've put in with him helped because that matchup is also really hard. To put into perspective, top Sephiroth players have told me not to do it. And I just switched it up and ended up winning reverse 3-0. And then going into the next set, I was actually planning on going full Sephiroth. Just because Sephiroth's individual moves will send Fox farther off stage and give me a chance to kill Fox early with edge guards and stuff. I just wanted to try out that perspective. And also maybe wanted to throw Light off a little bit because he's so used to fighting my Diddy Kong. And yeah, it went well. I got a couple counters. I got a couple edge guards. And that I feel like that goes a long way versus Fox. If I get a couple edge guards, that's probably at least one game on the board. You know what I mean? So, I was that's probably my favorite personal win for me. That weekend was beating Light with Sephiroth because I feel like the more you know about the matchup or Sephiroth as a character, the more impactful that is for me. Just because it's almost an impossible one for me to win most of the time.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
that's
just
rough.
In general, Fox. I'm just gonna kind of give my perspective, and I mean this is probably most people's perspective on the matchup. But Fox is just a really good character at killing Sephiroth before Wing comes out, and I think you did a really good job of taking specific hits that you needed to take, plank as long as you needed to on the ledge, and just play with Wing, right? So the reason why Fox is so good against Seph is not only do you have a lot of setups to get Sephiroth, wipe the stock out before the wing even is a factor. On top of that, Sephiroth's just really tall. And against tall characters, like when rising back air from Fox is a neutral option, that's not good for you.
Bro,
Like
and
any
his back
character.
air, actually kills Sephiroth because he's so light.
Yeah,
And
yeah, true.
and bro, add a shield is so tough for Sephiroth as well.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
gets to press like a million buttons, and then I get to choose a defensive option.
Got a
You're
couple
ma-
footstool dares, a couple
Yeah.
of them. That
I
was
got
cool.
one, yeah.
Yeah, or just one.
Yeah.
It's a good deterrent to let them know, like, hey, I got this.
Yeah,
So.
that was a good set too. And I know Light hopped on the couch after, and he was talking about the set. He's like, and you guys kind of the same thing. You're like, oh, we're surprised he chose Sephiroth instead of Diddy. And Light goes, yeah, me too. I didn't see that coming at all. Like, what the hell was that? Like, prepping for Diddy. And I think with you, and so here's I definitely want to talk about the Meister set too because it wasn't streamed. So I don't know if there's a VOD for it anywhere. So I haven't seen it. They had an uploader. Okay,
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I know they recorded everything there. I don't know when they're going to be uploaded, but it is the intention is for all the sets to be uploaded and be able to be viewed on.
Yeah, because I think those were the only set of sets that weren't uploaded. It's like a couple of the winners round ones or whatever, or losers round ones and stuff like that. Oh, actually, losers round one was because Gluto Firps was close.
I'm tempted to let y'all know my secret like evil strategy versus Meister.
Okay.
I was only going to tell people this in private, but I'm kind of down to tell people this.
Very much the opposite of private.
Trying to spice it up?
It is the opposite of private. So I lose the first two games, and Meister was very confident and comfortable. And like I said, like my Diddy wasn't playing well. The environment was weird, right? Like I was playing in a little conference room and on like an office chair on like a setup with a capture card. And I was genuinely not convinced the setup wasn't laggy. So this is where my strategy starts. So I actually mention it out loud. I say, damn, like I think the setup might be laggy. And Meister kind of smiles. He's like, oh, like I'm not feeling it. Like, and he's like, oh, we can check it if you want. And I'm like, nah, it's all right. And
is that when you planted the seed? Was that your first attack?
He seemed like he was very comfortable, and he's like, oh, like this dude is salty, and like that's partially true, right? But I really fed on that like false sense of security I gave him, and then I switched characters, and like it's a very me thing to do to someone if anyone knows me. Like I do a lot of like tricky things like that to like mess with people's heads, and I swear it worked because all of a sudden within the next game or two, like Meister seemed like locked in again, like not comfortable and like chilling. Like Meister was like, oh snap, like I feel like I kind of like Uno reverse carded the situation a little bit when I switched characters, but yeah, that was my like cheesy little messed up strategy I did off stream.
It's crazy too because we've talked about Game & Watch Diddy quite a bit, and that might be a matchup that you actually do think that Diddy wins. So
yeah, everyone talks to me and is always surprised. I think Diddy beats Game & Watch pretty heavily. All of Game & Watch's individual options usually get beat out by a core option of Diddy's or even multiple. Diddy easily whiff punishes Game & Watch. Bucket's really easy to see coming and like punish even with like monkey flip and stuff. So you can hold on to Banana for a long time. And then you start to really see how slow Game & Watch is, and his approaches get really, really obvious. Yeah, I think the matchup's incredible for Diddy. Like, and then Game & Watch is super light. If you land an obvious like down tilt or like Banana, usually Banana, like he's just dead at like 100% every time. And there's even stuff like Diddy's like a little bit better than most characters getting off the ledge. I can recover under the stage. So like Chef is like pretty avoidable. That's actually what I think I did really well against as Sephiroth, way better than the last time I played Meister with Sephiroth or like tried it. I've never tried it for a full set, but I think that went a long way. I think my disadvantage in general at Ludwig's with Sephiroth leveled up a bit, and I would like to continue to like look into that side of things. But yeah, that matchup is really, really good for Diddy. Meister just, I I think that game 1 win was really huge for him. He got
Yeah.
like an up smash. He was at like triple digit, like 120 plus or something, and I was at like low percent, and he eventually got an up smash at like 80, and I died without getting kill screened, and I never truly figured out if I DI'd it wrong or not. So yeah, I think he just played it a lot better than some of the other times we've played. But yeah, that matchup is pretty free for Diddy, but way better than Sephiroth. Because Sephiroth, like Game Watch, can just press down on the control stick and that's it.
Who would you? So would you start Diddy if you had to? Because I think we need to talk about Miya again as well. Would you go Diddy to start against Miya?
Yeah.
I assume you would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my thought. But yeah, and Miya very close. 2 game 5s against Spargo, which I thought for sure. Like looking at the winners
is very interesting. Looking into the future, you have to be ready for Miya because Mia's already like someone that plays against Game & Watch a lot, and it's a terrible matchup for Game & Watch.
Yeah.
Regardless of what Maister says. Meister's really optimistic and will say like even or something, but bro.
What Cloud
Game & Watch?
Well, bro, he switched off Cloud, and
I know it's very impressive. Meister or Spargo said to me like, yeah, like I had to get really used to such a different Game & Watch because we're all used to the Game & Watch, and Miya was a little different for him, and Spargo bouncing back, switching characters, and pulling out the win was a great example of like, you know, real-time adaptation. And Miya almost took out dude, the craziest one was Miya cleaned Onin up 3-0.
Yeah, I didn't even see that happen.
It was very dominant, and everyone in the venue that wasn't familiar with Miya or was curious to see how this event would go for them was like, damn, this kid is gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this is different. Like that was dominant.
He games you watch, you already know what it is. Yeah, that's good. The Spargo one, that was because I was looking at the winners' quarters.
He was up 2-1 at one point versus Spargo, and everyone in the venue was like, wait, what?
Was it 2-1 or 2-0? Yeah, either way. He was
up 2-1, yeah.
He was 1 game away from winning, and Spargo needed multiple to win for sure. But I was looking at the winners' quarters matches, and I was like, ooh, like you versus Light will be good. Leo versus Riddles is becoming like a rivalry, which we'll obviously talk about that set too. And then Akola Shuton, and I was like, damn, these are all bangers. And I was like, oh, Spargo against me. I'm like, oh, that's too bad that me ran into Spargo this early. I was like,
but it ended up being crazy like the rest of them. Yeah.
And good on Spargo. And again, like the power being able to switch between those two characters too. Like you wouldn't really think that Aegis and Cloud would help each other a whole lot, but I think it's more of like a tempo thing and more of like a comfort thing than anything else. And I'm glad to see his Aegis still has it, because his Aegis was one of the best on the planet. Like still is for sure. But I think a lot of why we haven't seen them too is because he's, I don't want to say still coming. He's definitely back. I mean, he won 2 tournaments in a row, but you know, he was kind of on that climb a little bit to getting there. We hadn't seen the Aegis a whole lot. So I know he thought a lot in between game 3 and 4. And like, really, like, am I going to, I think Miya forcing Spargo to switch off a Cloud is a fucking statement, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is insane.
No one else
like,
did that the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm. And it was in a matchup that we all
Game & Watch.
Yeah,
Game & Watch. Yeah, that's crazy.
All of us going into that tournament, it's like, who's gonna, you know, if anyone's gonna force Spargo off the Cloud, it's not gonna be the other Game & Watch or Meister. It's not gonna be either Game & Watch. That's for sure. Damn, that shit was crazy. Speaking of statements, Leo Riddles, I guess, is an easy set to talk about next.
All the quarter matches were absolutely insane, and this is like just a short unlucky side bit for me, but I was actually like right before quarter starts, like, all right, Charles, you're gonna take like a 3-game break or 3 or 4 game break, right? I was like, all right, cool. I step off, and it's just like the best sets of the tournament just all unfold before my eyes.
They can't, bro. They can't get you off when Light's gonna step up.
Right. I mean, like I said, it was just unfortunate timing. I think when I got back on, I was on for like the rest of the time.
Well,
like on for a lot of the really good match. Like the rest of the tournament was still really good, but definitely, I felt like the quarters specifically, a lot of the quarters matches were really,
just
really
like any other big tournament. Around there are like the tournament decider sets. These set up sets up top 8 and sets up like just like the narrative of who's gonna win. Usually, like this is a huge momentum shift for like a couple individuals usually around winners quarters. And Light and I were talking specifically about like, oh, like this stock, this match, this set, like this was the big turning point of the bracket. And I feel like the more experience you have with competing at a high level or watching a lot of tournaments, you can always tell what are the big ones, like the sets that are tournament deciders. You know what I mean? And those winners quarter sets are a good example of stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the breaking point in the top 8, right? And
Yeah.
that's where a lot of tragedy can really strike too.
Yeah.
I've seen for a lot of players, because getting to winners quarters of an extremely stacked like open bracket or even just an invitation or whatnot, right? It's really hard to do. And then you can have like one unfortunate set, one unfortunate matchup. Maybe you go on tilt and then you lose the next match after that and losers, and you're out at 9.
Yeah.
Like one of the ninth
Getting
and
ninth is the
and
classic
second are
we
the
always
worst.
talk about.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
I have never top 8'd Genesis, and I have been in that like lose in losers quarters or winners quarters and then lose again more than once across multiple Smash games.
What happened? Not this most recent Genesis, the one before that. I didn't follow I don't remember your run before that.
The one before that, you lost to Samsora winners and Light and losers, and you went Wario versus Light.
Oh yeah. Salty.
You go this time. Be ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, so Leo Riddles.
Right? Light.
Let's go back into it.
You're Wario, no excuses.
Again?
Huh?
You gonna go Seth against him again?
Probably.
All right.
I'm being transparent this podcast. I usually keep this info private.
I know you're feeling generous. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Leo Riddles. Let's talk about it.
No comment.
Call Leo IBDW. You know what I'm saying? It's so good. I thought of that while you guys were talking. I was like, it's so good because not everyone's gonna know. I mean, I be doing weed, you know. Leave it in, Alex. Leave it in. Just cut out Gavin cry laughing. All right. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Okay. Speaking of IBDW,
I might be pretty honest about this set.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, he's gonna be honest.
Tweek feeling spicy today.
I think Leo played it well. The Marth is legendary.
Iconic.
Is it in this game?
Well, Leo's Marth is iconic throughout multiple Smash games.
What are you even asking?
Just one.
It's
one, not multiple.
In Smash.
One. It's one Smash game it's legendary in.
You beat Esam at Summit, man. Chill. That was ultimate.
When was Esam at a Summit last?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was free quarantine, but hey, he had Marth, all right?
Huge Leo fan, huge Leo Marth fan. I'm not calling it legendary and ultimate, dude. Maybe, actually, you know what? I might be fucked, actually.
I said iconic.
Oh, iconic.
Overall,
you said legendary.
It's pretty legendary. People want it for a reason. But what I'm getting at is I think Riddles fumbled quite a few times. And I guess that's objectively true because he dropped most combos, if not all of the important ones. But Leo still played pretty well. But I personally think Leo's Marth is capable of a lot more than that. So if it comes out more, like be ready for it to be even better is what I would suggest. Like if you were impressed with that, it is capable of a lot more. But yeah, I think that was a tournament set is what I'll say. Drops from both sides, mistakes, weird situations, panic, chaos, salt, everything. It was tournament salt from both sides.
He did.
When Leo dropped that first game, I know that feeling. I know what he was feeling.
Bro, he did downward version of
and died at 0 or like
yes,
30.
because it's Kazuya's tough guy or like baby tough guy or a businessman, whatever you want to call it.
Businessman?
No way.
That was the other thing I was gonna say, but it did in a way because I don't think it's legendary and ultimate quite yet. But this was a good start or whatever, iconic, whatever.
Yeah.
It is for him, of course. But like, bro. Anyway, off of that point because whatever. But the other thing is like. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of you getting a little more confidence with your Sephiroth and doing it more after, because it came out against Big D and helped you get that win, which was looking really, really tough for you at main stage. But now, since it's like, yo, Sephiroth's got my back, I'm going to keep going to him just a little bit more and see see what happens. And I feel like
Yeah.
you do that a little bit, and I think Leo might as well. And I think the one big surprise is where the fuck was the Joker, man? All tournament. Like, where was it? Like, this is DeBuzz self-tweeted about it. He was like, wait, Shuton was all Olimar, and you didn't go Joker one time? It is, at this point, it's personal.
It was strange because I feel like you know what's so interesting about
Marth came out before Joker, bro.
That's what I'm,
Just let that sink in.
You know what's so
Mars.
interesting about Leo being down in a set statistically? If you're Leo or if you're a viewer, is you usually still consider Leo to be in the advantage statistically to win the set. So I think if you're Leo, it's actually really hard to decide to counterpick because you're so used to still pulling out the W regardless. If anything, being comfortable in that situation and preferring it, like being put on the ropes, that the window for counterpicking actually becomes even smaller because you give yourself less games to work with if you're so used to bringing the set back from a deficit. Obviously, I don't want to speak like I'm in Leo's shoes, but that's like something to consider. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to counterpick if you're so used to like reverse 3-0ing everyone or something like that, because I don't think it's a coincidence that I go up 2-0 on Leo most of the time, and then Leo like turns it up because it's becoming a regular clocking into the office kind of thing for him. Like he's explicitly said he likes it. Like it's like kind of cool. And
yeah,
if you're in those moments of some of his recent sets, you kind of only have like one chance to decide if you really want to switch characters because you're so used to just running it back when you're losing and just playing better or something like that. So when it comes to like all of his other characters, it's like, when do you really say for sure when you should go Joker or whatever that? I don't know.
I think he has created such a win-win situation for himself where when he was winning everything with Joker, it did get to the point where people were like, fuck this character, even after he got nerfed. Like, we hate Joker. He's still like, I don't know, what, top 3 on a lot of people's tier lists and shit for almost no reason, I want to say, aside from the fact that he was like theoretically incredible, but the character's not getting results anymore. Leo is such a genius and such a goat. He dropped his best character and still won fucking everything. And now everyone's like, please bring back your character that tormented us for 18 months. The character that destroyed everybody. Please bring him back. Like, that's where we're at. Like, that's how good and amazing he is as a player. Do it. Just bring it back. And the other thing, and this was brought up in the pre-call for the podcast, he lost to you 03, and then he lost to Shuton 03. He has never taken a game off of Shuton and Ultimate. Never taken a game. They have 3 sets.
Such a crazy fact.
Isn't that fucking insane? You said that, I was like, someone must have missed a tournament somewhere. Like, there's just no way.
They just haven't played a lot either.
That is a good point. Scuffed Tour is the only recent.
That's the only like really impactful set. The other ones were like pre-local.
It was 2 GG, so it was a while ago for sure.
Yeah. But it's still a really interesting fact. And regardless of like their set count or game count, it's even crazier to see Leo lose to Olimar, regardless of the player matchup. More so about the character matchup too. Like losing with the sword character to Olimar is really impressive that Shuton pulled that off. Some of the games were like pretty last hit as well. But I'm just sitting there thinking like if I sat down next to Shuton and I had to to play a set, if I picked Cloud and just started back airing, I would put up a damn good fight without practicing Cloud or playing Shuton in tournaments with Cloud. Like that's how good some of these matchups really feel. So I was surprised. I feel like this is what would be Leo's forte.
Yeah,
but they just haven't. These two haven't played. So like my interpretation of it was just really inaccurate because there's no data.
Yeah, there's
like you said, just the sword characters are just so good, right? So,
yeah,
like,
they destroy the Pikmin and Olimar at like the same time with one input sometimes, you know?
You have to think more just character matchup wise rather than player matchup because you don't have a lot of player matchup data.
It's interesting though because
the set before that, Shuton was straight up. Shuton didn't lose a game in losers until he won like 3 3-0s in a row.
Until he got
Shuton,
the run back against Akola, yeah.
yeah, he just wasn't losing games. Gluto tried Donkey Kong.
That was
Bro, all
that
right,
was
here's
interesting.
the question for you guys.
Wario
What was the
Olimar
bigger...
is really hard. I get it.
Yeah,
But don't you have a Pocket Wolf?
he should. He's got fundies, bro, obviously.
I've
He should
seen
be
the
playing
I've
Cloud
seen the
or
Pocket
Wolf.
Wolf show up on some graphics or something.
That is the classic counter pick versus Olimar.
That
if
is
you don't know.
literally the
Wolf, yeah.
classic Olimar pick.
That character just does so well versus Olimar.
Yeah, that DK, bro. I mean, I wanted to believe, but not that matchup. Not in that matchup, man. How do you do anything?
I didn't have any faith in this. Gluto's my favorite player, but so Shuton started the game, did like 100 damage. You know, like Olimar stuff, especially versus heavies. Gluto gets a dash stack at 0. Immediately goes for forward air after.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
Hell yeah.
Not only did Gluto want blood immediately, Shuton wasn't off stage from the dash attack. So I can imagine Gluto just like sees red and just like gets the hit and it's just like, all right, what can I do to like kill? And
right
like,
now.
Also, the less funny but more realistic outcome is that it was like a back air misinput or something, right? But I loved the idea of like, all right, you get a hit at 0, forward air. Like so many forward airs that one DK match. Like DK wanted Olimar dead.
He uses DK's forward air like Wario. You know what I mean? He's like, yep, now this is good. I'm gonna do it. So that DK forward air is like my DK. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
It is. A lot of other choices would have been better. I'll say that.
It is interesting too because well then obviously you saw Leo tried Marth. That was for the people though, I think, against Shuton.
That was definitely
well,
for the people.
because TK was asking for it too. TK was like, as he missed the first set against Riddles, and he was like, "Bro, you guys are getting hyped over that? What the hell?" Like he couldn't believe it.
That was very funny.
I loved it, dude. Yeah, because TK still plays like when we play, he'll rotate between like Wii Fit, Marth, like a couple other characters, but usually it's those two. And so he was hyped, obviously, just like everyone else was, and it just didn't work. I don't know, man. It's just,
bro. I remember when Leo got a side B at like somewhere between 0 and 10, in the riddle set, and the side B sent to the blast zone.
Yeah.
On Kazuya.
I mean, it's dumb. Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, I mean, Tipper.
I was like, why are we in the magnifying glass?
I honestly don't even hate Marth for that matchup, but I still think Byleth can do it. But it'll be interesting to see. I love the Riddles Leo rivalry. Like I'm a huge Riddles fan and have been for a long time. And who doesn't like Leo? But it's just so interesting to watch them kind of adapt around each other because Riddles, like, he does against his Byleth, like he just runs in. You know what I mean? Like he just air to airs him. He's getting grabs. He's getting all of his key winning conditions between either grab or electric, or grab into electric, obviously, or like the two main things. But it's just like, how does he just brute forces his way in a whole lot, which is, it's really cool to see because you don't get to see that a whole lot against Leo. But with Leo's Marth, he kind of just floated away. Like, you know, it's like float like a butterfly.
I saw like certain things the pacing start to change a lot. Like I start to see Riddles like forcing a roll in, and I feel like that is par for the course when you're playing against Leo, and has the advantage, and he's like, because like everyone, like Leo's nickname might as well be like spacing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And as a fighting game player, character player, you start to see like spot dodges and rolls, like anything to like break the gap and like try to get in when you're playing against someone that's outranging you. And Leo, like getting the extra damage on that really goes a long way. And kind of talking about Riddles' first match was against Gluto. So Riddles had a really great roll for his first round because it's Kazuya Wario. And that obviously went really, really well. And Gluto just having a hard bracket. What was Gluto's punishment for losing round 1?
Ferps.
Another Kazuya
again.
Kazuya.
That is
yeah.
It's almost worst case scenario type of bracket stuff if you're a Wario player.
We've talked about it before. It's not just Wario too, who is always, I don't want to say trying to approach, but trying to like bait and do all this stuff. But like the risk reward, especially with Kazuya with electric on someone who's approaching in the air, is insane. Like, but not only that, but Gluto always has had a hard time against the FGC characters. Shout outs to Andres out
Yeah,
there.
all the fighting game characters do really well.
Because he can't, and also his SDI is not great because I guess it hurts his hands. Is what I've been told.
Very
We've
true.
talked about that before.
We've seen that with Bayo as well.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout outs to Bloom. So, yeah, it's tough. And then you got one into the other. It's like, dude, what the hell? Two of the scariest Kazuyas on the planet.
But Gluto winning that set, which is really great, good stuff. Compared to the Riddle set, he got a lot more like devious and creative with some of his like options to try to take stocks, like some raw wafts, like trying to get some reads, like, which is interesting because if it works, great. You don't have to deal with Kazuya being at 1,000,000% because he's so heavy. And also just like, trying to like put some fear into the character that doesn't feel it. Like, because I think that's one of Kazuya's biggest strengths is that he has no reason to be scared. And his opponent has all the reason to be more scared than they've ever been in their entire tournament life.
I was gonna say it's the opposite, bro.
It's a ridiculous. It's a ridiculous.
The one who knocks, yeah.
He's considered one of the best characters in the game. So imagine how much better he is in a tournament environment. And to be pretty blunt, like I don't care about the execution argument. I don't even agree.
Well, shit. Never mind. I'll just shut my mic off again. It did make a difference.
I don't think it goes. I don't think it goes both ways like people think. It is not.
Have you done an electric? Get in there right now, Gavin. Do an electric. I want to see.
I'm never gonna put Kazuya on that like scale of like difficulty.
What?
I'm sorry.
Have you tried to move with the character?
It doesn't make sense to do
Oh my god, this guy.
And even if I do give you that argument, it's still not. It's still mostly a one-way street when you're fighting Kazuya.
It can.
It just is. The risk reward, like just do the math. Like
I think overall it's in favor of Kazuya. Like how hard it is to execute. Like it's crazy to me that Electrical and Godfist does 18 damage when you execute it right.
Yes.
Even when you mess it up, it still does a good amount, and you can combo off the mess up anyway.
Like, the electric is almost doing the entire job for you because of how much damage it does.
Let's just say there's a lot of characters in this game that cannot do a throw into.
It would be a true execution test if electric didn't do that damage.
It's crazy that the part that grab leads into electric is that to me is like
that's half of the setup.
Yeah, I know.
The execution test is so much lower than people say
because the amount of reps you have to do is
you don't do that many
because the damage output is so much.
You don't do that many reps.
I don't just mean electric though. I mean like the movement and all this other shit. And if you fuck it up, like the character feels 1,000,000% worse. Like starting to learn him, I was like, this character fucking sucks. Like because I couldn't do everything, like it was really tough. But when you're playing one that's tournament ready, then it's like, well, fuck this. Like this is not. I definitely obviously see what you guys are saying, but I'm saying too, like especially in tight situations, like again, MkLeo versus Riddles. The first thing that was said is that he had some flubs on the execution side, and when you're not hitting the electrics, and it only takes one or two, then you get in your fucking head about it. You're like, well, I dropped one electric.
The insane thing about that is Kazuya being on the screen limits it to that one thing. That's the main thing about the set, and that will always be the conversation for every Kazuya loss. It is boiled down to such a ridiculously small factor for a tournament environment. That is crazy. That advantage is ridiculous.
Well, no, because there's times where he's playing well and has good execution and loses. That happens too.
Yeah, and then if you're the person losing to it, you don't have much to say other than, I died at 0. Gluto died at 0 off of getting a hit. Nair not working.
So did Leo because of the downward angle.
And he's not the only one. So what is either player supposed to say? When you're Kazuya, it's like, I either win or I mess up and I lose. It has nothing to do with you.
It's been a pleasure.
And if I'm Gluto and I land a hit and lose, I don't have anything to say either. It's like, well, yeah, if you get the 0 to death, that's it. Shake my hand. So like it's insane. 99% of the pressure will always be on the person playing against Kazuya. But moving on, Gluto winning that set in losers is really impressive. And something that's also pretty much equally as impressive is winning Wario Game & Watch in losers. 3-2 versus Miya. That was one of my favorite sets of the tournament. Miya's advantage state was ridiculous. Super early kills, platform traps into down smash. And Gluto getting a super clutch waft on Game & Watch of all characters. That is so
Oh,
rare.
off the top, the read after
That one, but he
delaying
also
the
got
jab
the
2 on the moving platform.
yeah, he got a traditional nair up air waft while losing game 5, and then he got a crazy advantage state, got a down air read with the back air. That is very impressive. Like what a tough bracket, and to end up like putting a decent dent in the bracket as Wario is very, very impressive. Because I know, like, as a Wario player for years, like, I don't know if I could have won a single one of those sets. You know what I mean? And Gluto won most of them. The big loss was the Riddle set, but he ended up winning 2 really hard matchups and losers. But then falling to Shuton, which most people did 3-0 around that part of the bracket. Shuton was on a mission. And another really hard matchup. I wouldn't say it's as hard as Game & Watch or Kazuya, but it's a pretty bad one as well. Olimar Wario is really tough. Sorry if I ranted for a bit. Wario is
That's good.
Gluto's my favorite player, so I'll handle that part of the bracket.
Yeah. I just
you
wanted
know Wario
one thing.
decently well, I guess.
Yeah, you're pretty good. You might have did a couple thing or two with the character. But another thing about Kazuya, I know we don't want to always just talk about Steven Kazuya, but just my one point is my big thing about Kazuya is we've had so many like infinite, like, oh, I touch you once kind of characters, and you lose a stock from it in Smash, right? The annoying thing about Kazuya is just how many reps, and I know Tweek definitely spoke upon this, but like Link can infinite you, Banjo can infinite you, but like when you look at how they infinite you, the reason why it's considered task level is because you do this really
base, true.
Well,
true.
Yeah,
players.
true.
Yeah, Kazuya's are the only players who aren't lazy.
They're grinding.
Yeah.
They're grinding, dude. No days off. No days off.
Yeah, exactly. But like essentially you do this like 1 to 2 frame input and you get 2 damage. And we've even seen infinites in previous iterations of Smash.
So
like Smash 4, like the custom Pikachu one, or like there's been a bunch of different
Diddy had
like,
one.
Yeah, Diddy had an infinite in Ultimate.
Yeah.
Even like all the jab lock infinites in like Brawl, or just like the Ice Climber ones. But the ones that
or like
are
Lucas
always
dragging you across the stage with Zaire, like it's all like 2 damage.
It's 2 damage, but like, oh, but if I do a 2 frame electric input, 18. There's characters that do a throw into aerial and they don't do 18 damage. And when you nail the electric, oh, well, you're Kazuya. The next hit you do, even if you just end it with a back air, you've already done the standard 0 to 40, 0 to 50.
Yeah.
Yes, you literally have already did it, and you did 2 fucking moves.
Yeah,
like,
but back air is hard because you
insanity.
always have to RAR it because you have autocorrect. So like that's another input.
Oh my gosh, we might have to end the show here.
You're getting checked. Even
I can't
on your
even
back
comprehend
airs.
that.
So that's like
Oh my god, that sounds so hard, dude. Like,
it's tough,
wow,
it's tough.
holy shit.
I'm no bullshit. Try to play the character is not.
I'm gonna start looking
It's
at his
not fun to
damage
start.
output. How much does the move that
Oh, it's a
crumples you
lot.
do? Like the punch
The
that
side
gets
B?
insane?
Oh, the
No,
stand up punch?
like
Yeah.
the bah! That one.
Oh, the
first deck,
cutscene
yeah.
one? Oh,
Yeah.
which cutscene one?
Wait, I
There's
was
like
gonna say,
5
which cutscene
cutscene
one?
ones. Yeah.
Oh, the one
I think
where
that
he's-
one.
The one where he says which time and he punches you.
Oh my god.
And then
It
you do
doesn't-
like a fully charged smash attack. Dragon
No, he
uppercut.
He does the ha into the kick ha into the up kick ha into the electric.
Oh, and then you have a move that automatically trips you 100% of the time. By the way,
I think
Wait,
it's called-
he
is it
actually
called-
does have that.
Is it called
He
Stance
does have
Smash, I
that.
think it's called.
But what is the
Stance-
crumple move called? Like, how much damage does that do? A lot?
It's just stand.
We-
I always call
we
it
just
stand-up
call it
punch, 'cause
rising
you-
crouch.
If you crouch while he's standing, you hit A and he does it.
And
You
you just
feel
like
so
it send like the character he's fighting like falls over.
I'm sure it does like
20 to
60.
30.
It's 60.
I'm sure it does like 50.
It
But
might.
it's hard.
He. It's so funny that you jokingly said that damage when he literally has a move that does damage like that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Rage Drive, yeah.
He has-
And-
Yeah, he actually has.
Is
Oh,
it
but
just
you have to
straight
get
up 40? Like just 40?
40
Yeah.
something, I think. Yeah.
I think it's 39 something. Yeah, it's 40. Like I just call it 40. But it also Hey, that one's an input too. Okay. No.
It doesn't have to be actually.
You
But
can actually
you don't
just
get
grab.
You get the stronger version though. It's stronger, right? I assume it is.
I would
I don't
assume
know.
so. Yeah.
He makes a cooler
Even-
sound when you grab him with it.
Oh,
so
boo hoo!
I
You do
assume-
30 instead of 40 if you
It's
fucking
also
press
just a
grab.
Shoryuken, so it's not like it's really hard. And by really hard, I mean not hard at all. I always think with Kazuya, where do you think he'd be if, true to his game, Electric was a 1-frame input. What do you think?
I'd have no idea. Like,
Is that interesting to think about though? Because that's not true to his game. We get 2 frames in Smash. They treated us like babies.
You know what else?
And
I
now
want to
look
talk
where we
about?
are.
The electric that does 18, and then you charge the smash attack. You know how many reps you cut out if you didn't have those 2 variables? Or if up B didn't literally kill that early?
What if you just couldn't electric into electric? Like, it kind of like Zero Suit, you can't just down smash like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it doesn't stun you.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
In Brawl, you used to get 2 because it was so fast. You remember that?
A grab.
You got 2 in her combo.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Fun fact.
What do you call that? So, in Ultimate, there's a grab lockout. So to prevent chain grabs, there should be an electric lockout. After you electric someone, I shouldn't be able to get electricked for like 5 seconds.
That's something that's sad crazy about playing against these characters is there are clear. They are mostly mistakes. Like this is
no, they're not though. Do you watch Sakurai's YouTube? Sakurai literally has a video thumbnail on his YouTube channel where it's like making the characters feel like if you have the player and they have the sensation that they're cheating in the game, like that's what he's aiming for. And like right when I saw that thumbnail, I just thought of like Smash 4 Bayo, like Brawl Meta Knight, Kazuya and Steve. I was like, Sakurai's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Diddy and
like
Smash
here,
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Like here are the ground rules of the game.
Bro. Don't sit over there and talking shit about Kazuya.
Because he establishes like these rules, right, with the game where it's like, oh yeah, like you usually get this and you usually get that, and then there's like all of a sudden there's these standout DLC characters where you're like, you're just cheating. Like this is clearly power creep. This is clearly like no other character in the game can do this. But I just think it's like a really funny sidebar. But I mean, I guess back to the tournament. But did you have a final point on it?
Kazuya is interesting too because they thought he was bad when he was created. Remember, I was like, dude, well, that's because you guys need to give this to sweaty Smash players. Like, you need to let them do this because they'll find it. You know, it didn't.
I wish I was right. I didn't think he was anything special because,
bro,
my Gavin brain was like, oh, I'm just gonna run away. So
I think probably initially when they created him, he didn't have like a lot of this crazy shit. Then they were like, you know what? Give him a reflector that kills Samus at 20. Like, okay, that sounds cool.
0, by the way.
Is it just 0 raw? I've killed Samus.
I don't know. I'm trying to spread propaganda.
Honestly, you might not be wrong. Like, if dude,
I know a lot of projectiles are at 0.
Yeah, charge shot and shit would do a lot.
If not 30 or something like.
It just, or she tries to shield like you shoot a missile back at her and it just breaks her shield. It's like, all right, cool. Now I'm Kazuya and I get to just hit you for free.
At least Kazuya kind of has to guess with the reflector. Oh hey, here's the video.
You do. It does have startup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roundhouse, the triple spin kick. I wish people use that. The up forward tilt is what it is. You mash it 3 times. It's a precise input. It's like Dancing Blade. I love, dude. It's just, well, I think they were scared with him. Like, I think they overtuned him in like a million ways because they were scared because he had the 7-frame jump squat. Like, ooh, this feels like shit. This is not good. And they were like, whatever, let's give him all this other shit.
I'm just, at the end of the day, with Fighter Pass 2, I'm just salty that Sephiroth is so bad compared to the rest of Fighter Pass 2. Like, look at Fighter Pass 2, and then I look at Sephiroth, I'm like, dude, Jesus Christ, Sora's even better than you. Like,
that Jim Sora?
By a good margin too. I'm not gonna say by a lot, but like by a very noticeable margin, I'll put it at that. But,
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, yeah.
Man, imagine winning with Sephiroth. See, there we go. Now don't you feel a little better?
I didn't. I lost.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay, that is one thing.
Well, you also won a couple times.
Spargo
a couple times.
Was such a fighter in this bracket. When you look at the bracket,
rapping.
He had a couple game 5s.
Yeah.
And it made me wish I put up more of a fight in terms of game counts and R sets. So I'm like, damn, I didn't give enough respect to like Akola and Miya. They game 5, last stock. You know what I mean? And I'm out here getting 3-0'd and 3-1. But I was trying, man.
Yeah.
I could not figure him out. At main stage, it was close. Like, it was down to like a couple decisions. But I'm going to complain about Cloud a little bit. So I think a lot of people forget how different Cloud is than he was before the buffs he got. He's one of the only characters to get core buffs.
To his weaknesses.
His ledge snap got buffed. what kind of weird buff? Y'all are usually changing fluffy angles and stuff. That is such a
fuzzy angles.
competitive Smash Bros. Specific buff. So I have a harder time two-framing. He gets limit faster and keeps it longer. They buffed his out of shield, which is already some of the best in the game. So now he has like better killing out of shield, with or without limit. They buffed dash
Talking about-
attack. Dash
You're talking
attack
about
just
Smash.
Dude, dash
Yeah.
You should like tell them
Up
what you're
smash.
talking about.
Yeah, up smash is
Up smash got
faster.
faster.
dash attack is just stronger randomly.
Well,
So
dude,
they overtuned what he was good at and then fixed the weaknesses. So when I'm playing against Spargo, here's what's crazy for me is I don't have much of like a win condition. The hardest thing, a lot of the times when I parry things at certain ranges, I either get a little punish or no punish at all. So he gets to just swing all the time. I get a hit and he like hurt box shifts because he's Cloud. We all know that feeling. And then I can't get out of disadvantage for minutes at a time. When I try to edge guard, he has so much aerial drift, he can just hold all of his resources and react to when I commit. And two framing just very rarely works. And his win condition is being Cloud on the stage. That is just when you play a character that kills with stray hits or like shield pokes or like crazy stuff like that, like your win condition is winning, being on the screen. So like I am fighting such a ridiculous battle the whole time, and I think there's very, very clearly something I'm missing. But I'm trying to figure it out. But that's like my current complaints. I'm sure there's something I'm missing that I'll eventually figure out. But in a tournament environment, it's so tough because there's no obvious way to win. Like I just watched Cloud like her buck shift on the screen as I was saying this.
yeah.
But yeah, insane. Like it was just so tough. I couldn't find like a weak part of the armor. You know what I mean?
It made me think about that kind of fun, one of the other question that we had: who's better, Cloud or Wolf? And I still think it's close. But damn, Spargo makes Cloud look so godlike. He makes him look impossible to get through, which is also crazy to think about, though, because he did have to switch against Miya in a matchup that we all previously thought was impossible to win for Cloud. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Cloud, to me, like you said, his game plan, he is similar to Wolf in a lot of ways, which is why I think we asked the question in the first place, is because his game plan is so straightforward and so simple. And it's like, how the fuck do you stop it, though? Like, what do you do?
I think it's more comparable to like Fox or Aegis than Wolf, though.
Well, that's saying something. Yeah, Aegis. Yeah, definitely Aegis, but I
Two
don't know.
other really good.
I think
yeah.
closer to like because like natural frame traps, natural kill confirms and win conditions that like you can't really mess with or anything like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Wolf doesn't just straight up kill you.
Wolf doesn't get stray hit KOs.
Yeah,
It actually kind of gets to the point
he
where
has
Wolf
to,
will
but they're very
struggle.
difficult.
They're very
And
difficult.
his out of
to get,
shield and his shield pressure is not the same at all. Same with his corner pressure and ledge trapping. You don't just get kills that are just like, well, like you couldn't do anything. Like it reminds me more of like Fox or Aegis. But yeah, like fighting Spargo is like the toughest thing in the world. Like I feel like my biggest regret is diving into all these little weak points I thought I could mess with, but not fully committing to one. So I was like, because like hearing the way I'm complaining, right? It's like I never fully dove into like a win condition just because I was too scared of like getting punished for it. So I wasn't like I'd go for the edge guard, but I wouldn't fully commit. So I'm like not really sure which one to choose. You know what I mean?
to
It's
me,
tough.
that's what I felt was going on. To me, and this could be just because maybe I mean for sure Spargo's just getting cleaner with the recoveries, right? I don't think it didn't feel like you gimped Spargo a single time or like barely ever got it right. And I felt like you were.
I don't think I got
committed.
a genuine like early kill, which is like crazy because I think a lot of people think. I think most people just don't realize that Cloud's recovery just got that much better.
It's so good with directional air dodge. It's you have so much mix, and on top of that, going low with Cloud because of that 3 or 4 frames that they buffed. Now, one thing I really want to establish for maybe some of the people that started playing Ultimate a little later, maybe after some of these patches, one thing that Nintendo was famous for in a lot of their patches for this game is they would nerf some characters, but whenever they would buff a character, they would be like, Incineroar's forward smash is stronger. It's like, well, Incineroar killed me at 50 with forward smash. Now he's going to kill me 40. Does it really impact the meta if Incineroar is killing me earlier with these smash attacks? No, right? Like, what are his main weaknesses? It's going to be his recovery. It's going to be, I think Incineroar's recovery did get buffed at a certain point, but like, it's his recovery.
Speed,
it's his speed on the ground, his speed in the air, right? And that's where I think it gets a little tricky for you, Gavin, because I think before it was like, well, how do I beat Cloud? I 2-frame him. That's like the win condition, right? But I think Sparrow's recoveries have gotten to the point where it's like, dude, there's sometimes where I saw your Diddy forward tilt and I would see it like come up to the Cloud up, and I'm like, wow, that did not 2-frame. Like that is crazy.
It's insanity.
And Diddy
it reminds me of Pyra, where there's like, remember before they fixed it, where there were certain recovery angles that actually weren't vulnerable with
Mitra's directional air dodge has certain heights where you could
it reminds me
air
of
dodge
that,
and there
where
was
I'm
no
like,
window.
I'm convinced that there is like 0 or 1 frames or something. Like,
right, and
it's insane
with how strong Cloud is on stage, and it's a character that you can play safe neutral and kill off safe neutral. Like Fox can kill you in neutral by doing a run up smash, but there's a lot of risk involved in that, right? There's a lot of risk. There's a lot of conditioning. Maybe you try to set up a tech chase, right? Just for some straight hit. But Cloud, and even for a character like Fox or Diddy, it's like, oh, I can run up, maybe like set up a soft nair, set up a down tilt, right? But that only works for so long. Back air,
there's no setup. It is the
same
thing.
Setup.
It'd be the same thing you're doing at 0 or 20%, and it's like, a terrifying wall to deal with. But yeah, that's my current thoughts. It's like one of the first times I felt like I don't have enough answers to work with, so I'm definitely gonna look into it and practice some more. But yeah, I think I talked about most of my sets. But yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about from this tournament, so we don't have to all just talk about me, I guess.
Well, you made it really far, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just an update. It is called Demon Godfist, by the way, the stand-up from Crouch Punch, and it does 14.5. I tested it in game and I googled it, so there you go. Just so, because I know people are gonna say something, but yeah.
So there's like usually 3 reps max in a Kazuya combo.
It's a 2-frame input, so
2 whole entire frames.
I'm telling you, bro, make it 1 frame, just like Tekken.
I mean, half the electrics would not be electrics, right? If you made it a 1-frame window instead of a 2.
It'd be a 50% chance, yeah.
50% chance that you get electric or regular.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Dude, yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Let me think here. Looking at the bracket too, I'm trying to think of other sets that I really enjoyed. I mean, I watched the whole thing and it was really good top to bottom. So Spargo Akola was very good too.
Shuton Akola went game 5 both sets.
Both times, yeah. And opposite results from winners and losers.
Light had to defeat Onan and then had to play Akola right after. Another It's tough. When it's an invitational, it's just like all these demons in the bracket. Like we had 2 Game Watches, 2 Steves, like
2 Kazuyas.
Yeah, and that's
Kazuyas. I knew I was forgetting something.
It was cool hearing Onan talk afterwards, and basically Onan hopped on and said the same thing, where it's like, yeah, we're just here for one day. Like we're here for one afternoon of playing Smash. You know, it's so different because
it's crazy. Yeah,
at a major you fly in Thursday or Friday, or I guess Friday morning, Thursday or Wednesday or whatever.
It's almost a week sometimes.
Yeah, you hang out, you play a bunch, you warm up, you have your routine, and this is like you're just thrown right into it because you flew out Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So just one day affair. So
that's why, like, I got to the venue and it's like, I'm playing in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's just like I just got to be ready, and like that was like that set might have been the most important for me personally because like.
Which one?
Like what would have happened if I lost to Maister?
Very first one?
Maister,
yeah.
If I couldn't quite pull out the reverse 3-0 because like I had 1 game to work with, right? Like if I lost, it was over. Like I started to get some momentum, but I didn't have any insurance at all. Like I literally almost got 9'd game 5. Like
dude, he goes for that shit.
Bro,
you're so lucky?
You know what's insane? I think he got a berry at like 0 and went for it and didn't get it. And I don't know what happened, but he had a chance for another one, and neither one were a 9. And I was like, bro, the math was almost there. Like if anything, I shouldn't be surprised if the second one was a 9.
Dude, well, you can't say you had bad luck anymore, so.
Yep. Can't say it anymore.
Actually,
after that,
no, I have bad luck. Meister just also had bad luck, so.
Yeah, but what about that one set?
Smile.
Priority with the up B versus Ken's homing attack.
That was so lucky.
That was probably your luck. Would you say that's your luckiest Smash moment?
I don't know. I've had too many. Honestly, I wouldn't.
Because you're so lucky of a player.
I wouldn't be so quick to say yes. Basically,
your luck's so bad it's infectious.
But yeah, I like that perspective better. But yeah, like I don't know if I'd be able to bounce back in a one day double elimination bracket. You know, like not too much prep time, like sudden. Like if I lost that first set, like my next round would have been to buzz. Like that sounds like a classic scenario for me to just lose twice. Just play against two really frustrating opponents and never really pick up any momentum. It's like, so barely winning that was definitely the most impactful win for me. And it was off stream, so I guess it's cool that we're talking about it. The VOD will be somewhere, I'm sure. But I guess my only other match was versus Leo in winter semis. And that one, like, it just wasn't as, like, I don't know what else to say. It's not like the Meister set where, like, I was fighting for my life or something. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't know what else to say. Like, even my set with Light, like, other than the game I lost, like, I was, like, in advantage for most of the set. But, like, I got that opportunity because of, like, barely scratching my way through winner's bracket in the first win.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being a player in this scenario where it's like you could fly all the way across planet Earth to play
avoiding going 0-2 was the number
and
one
just
thing.
Like, or even just getting 0-2.
Yeah, at least win a game. I was telling myself no 0-2,
yeah.
And if I don't go 0-2, win a game and do something cool with Sephiroth in that game or something. Like, please.
Like the jabbing Gavin came back out. I love that, dude, against Light.
The jab there, yeah. If you've watched my stream, you've seen that setup more than once. But if you haven't, Light, I bet you never saw that before, huh? That's what you get.
He said, huh?
That's what you get for not
watching me
play Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if you were a Tweek Talks Patreon member right now, Light, you wouldn't have gotten hit by that. Take notes, chat. You guys should sign up now. We need to record that still, by the way. We owe them that. So we have to record it this week, actually. So we will be doing that for sure. So sign up on the Patreon. Someone asked me a question about it too. You submit a question through Patreon is how it works. So you get to, like, when you join Patreon, you'll see the whole interface there. So you don't, like, send them to us. You could say hi to us, and that's cool, but you do not need to send us the questions. It's all done through Patreon. So check that out, and we'll be recording that this week for sure, which we're
You get to set up the structure. You get to set up the whole structure of the entire video. I've seen so many YouTube comments of, you guys should talk about this, or you guys should talk about that. Well, guess what?
We have to
get on the Patreon. You literally force us to do it. So sure to sign up for that. The bonus episodes are always lit too. They're really, really fun.
What is that? Is that loud for anyone? What is that? Hold on. Oh, okay, that's
Tiny getting crazy.
No.
Is it B getting crazy?
It's just B in the background.
I was just like, that bag? I was like, is it in my room? What's happening right now? Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. Well, I thought it was, you guys had, I guess, I don't know, closing statements. You guys had fun. You guys had a good time. Seemed like you had a good time.
Jealous.
Yeah, I had a good time. I think the biggest thing is, like, having some success with Sephiroth helps with confidence. It's funny because I go back to practicing, right? And, like, I'm just like, I don't want people like Sephiroth isn't good. Like, when I'm practicing Sephiroth today, I'm like, God, this character is so miserably not good. Like, the stuff I got hit with today in my practice session was not very fun. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to make it work. I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. I'm really proud that I was able to win some hard matchups with Sephiroth. And it's really just back to practicing, because my last, like, 1,000 losses were to one player, and it's getting very obnoxious.
Dang, Sparkle made his way to the top of the list.
I don't want to say that yet because I
What?
don't know
What?
what to do. I don't know what to do yet. If I
Well,
figure
he's
out what to do,
He still could be there. You just need to figure it out.
well, there's certain players I haven't beat yet that I want to beat first.
Dang. Okay. In the Patreon episode, you have to have a list of players, and you got to tell from top to bottom who's on the
Well,
list.
I'll say who I want to beat right now.
Save for the Patreon, you Jim.
Okay.
Yeah. We gotta paywall something here.
But yeah, it's weird because to put it into perspective, I could just say I went like what? Let me count. Yeah, I went 4-2 this weekend. Doesn't
Wait,
sound...
was Leo a 2-2er this week? Yeah. MkLeo 2-2er. That's just the bracket, man.
When you
That's
just put it
crazy.
to numbers, it sounds so
That's why,
bizarre.
bro. That's why when
Yeah.
people say shit like that, I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, if
Yeah.
you go 2-2 and you live, and what you're talking about is this, obviously that's way different. But it's always like there's always more context to the numbers and who you beat and who you lose to.
Yeah.
Even like within your own region at locals, like sometimes you get one bad upset and someone else does, and then like it just sucks. I don't know, man.
I guess beating Shuton with Diddy is a pretty cool thing too, because that is a hard matchup as well.
I was
And
surprised.
Shuton was just playing
Yeah.
insanely well this weekend.
Yeah, Shuton
like
wasn't.
Japan came out this weekend.
Shuton wasn't
is
trying
good
to
to see.
lose a single game in losers.
Yeah.
Yeah, really impressive. I think beating a player who uses swords as well as Leo with Olimar, I can't stress enough how it was reality bending to watch that in the venue. Everyone in the venue thought it was very, very strange that it was even reality. They were like, what is happening? They were legit not
Bro.
convinced they were awake. They thought it was a dream.
Glad we got back on this, actually. Chris, is it possible for you to pull up that tweet that I sent? Because, so, it's funny. It's almost like Leo's listening to us right now. I really hope he's not. Sorry, Leo. But he tweeted that he's 0-3 against Shuton, or 0-9, I guess, in games. 0-3 in sets. And he said, just so you know, this was Wolf and Bila/Marth. Will go Joker next time. I'm telling you, it's like he's listening. That Genesis is gonna fucking pop off, man. Holy shit! Unless they're both going to Let's Make Big Moves. I'm not sure if they are. I know.
I don't know if either of them are.
Yeah, Japan
not positive though.
So.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I gotta check, but I'm excited for the tournament.
Are you talking about Let's Make Big Moves? I know Leo announced that he's going to Let's Make Big Moves.
Oh,
nice. Bro, it could happen right then.
And Spargo will also be at Let's Make Big Moves.
Oh,
get Max those VODs. Let's go.
Okay. Well, there's my chance to get a lot.
There you go.
What I want out of that tournament.
Oh man.
I guess that about wraps it up, though, right?
Yeah. Thanks for asking me about my weekend, you gyms. What the heck?
Yeah, not really interested.
The commentators still got to do some closing statements.
Wait, no,
close it out. All right, that's fine.
On, man.
I had the Street Fighter beta, you jerks. None of you have played that game.
Damn.
Get fucking ruled. Yeah, get fucked. Top player ass, top commentator ass. Have fun fucking flying to SoCal, you gym, for 2 days.
What the heck?
I played Ken all weekend, and it fucking ruled.
I heard the beta was lit. Void was playing a lot.
I watched a lot of gameplay over the last day or two.
It's crazy because
I love some of this gameplay. It is so cool.
My big takeaway, well, and as we all know, the best part of a fighting game is the beginning, right? Like that's always the best, where it's exciting, you're finding new things out, you're growing at a rate that's like insane. Like who you are the night before and to the next day is like a completely different player.
Yeah,
honeymoon phase essentially.
Yeah, honeymoon phase is a great way to put it. Like the first 2 months are going to be magic, or the first Evo or whatever it lines up with Street Fighter. But the thing with this game is that I don't think meter has ever mattered more in a Street Fighter game. Like drive, I've said that drive is almost as important as your health in terms of winning a game. Maybe more important, because it gives you offense, defense, and it's just, if you run out of it, you're so fucked. Like it's just crazy how important meter management is. But I never played 5, so I'm sure it was important in 5. But who cares? First, that game sucks. But
there was 2 meters, like the V meter and your EX meter. So like I don't know, it's hard to.
This, when you guys play it, you'll be like, oh shit, just keep in mind your drive. Like it is.
I don't even know if I'm a play. I'm such a Smash tryhard. I might just be more of a spectator. I love Street Fighter, but
damn.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been practicing a lot of Smash.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, well,
you are trying to be the best player in the world at Super Smash Brothers. So you know what? You get a pass,
goal.
Kevin.
Yeah, you're cool by us, I guess. We'll let you hang out still.
Well, thanks so much for watching, y'all.
Yeah, it was great watching you guys too.
Shouts to Lud. Shouts to Lud.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Slime.
for the opportunity to play at that event. Thank you so much for the event existing in general, but for me especially, thank you, because I wasn't qualified for Smash World Tour. I planned on trying to qualify through the LCQ, and the fact that I got that opportunity at all, I really appreciate it, because some of those sets were really important for me, really important data for the future, and a great way to end the year. And it was a pleasure hanging out with everyone. And yeah, just thank you. Like a pleasant surprise in a time where things have been pretty rough. So thank you so much.
On such
Again,
short
yeah,
notice. That's
yep.
the crazy thing. Like 2 weeks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And they were busy doing a bunch of other stuff too. Like
Yeah, like Ludwig just did the
man.
craziest chess boxing thing and immediately did this. So thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Love them. Love that team. Love what they're doing for Smash.
Yes.
Thank you guys. We're gonna come up with next week's gonna be a fun episode. It's gonna be our end of the year wrap up. So again, if you guys have some clips or any of your favorite moments, send them so our editing team can include them. Help them out. If you have links, that would help out a lot. But we're looking to end the year, and it's been a hell of a year, is what I gotta say. So I'm looking forward to next week, and yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Thank you so much. Bye.